Hello, welcome to this update for the Western Pacific and spots of Asia as well. So let's see what's happening. So we have a few features to talk about. First, the Indian monsoon has picked up again and it's drenching spots of the west coast with very heavy rain and spots central India as well. In the Western Pacific, we do have a tropical depression right in between Thailand and not Thailand, Vietnam and China, like close to Hainan. This might eventually go into northern Vietnam and southern China. And then we have another system that might turn into a depression just south of Japan. So we're watching this and also some other areas of interest in the open Pacific. So let's see here. First, let's take a look at India. There's some very heavy rain, central India and spots of western India, especially because these winds are quite strong coming from the Arabian Sea, so they are carrying a lot of moisture now. So Monday shows Monday to Tuesday, still some very heavy downpours west coast there, and even southern Pakistan and spots western India. So Tuesday still shows central areas, some downpours like Tuesday, Wednesday, shows this system, the Arabian Sea. I don't think this will become a cyclone, but it might try to. But models just show a blob of moisture. They don't show any cyclones. So Wednesday, the 20th, that thing dissipates, but it does leave a few storms there in Oman. So be aware, spots in Oman Thursday. So Thursday still shows in India, like especially central to eastern India, still on the west coast by the 21st, 22nd, and the end of this week shows even more heavy rain spots of western India, central, northwestern areas. Friday into Saturday, few storms in Pakistan as well. Especially be careful northern Pakistan this weekend, and then Sunday still shows those storms continue, and this just continues throughout the rest of the month because it's just the time of year. So please be careful in those areas. Basically, those daily downpours, be careful with flooding and flash flooding, especially here, like shows the accumulation. They'll show 5 days, so today's the 18th until the 23rd. They'll show like western India, especially on the west coast there a few spots to 148 millimeters, and even Mumbai to 187. So please stay safe. A few spots to 200 further inland. Further down the west coast shows like 184, 164. So please stay safe. Shows more spots southern India as well. A shower or two in Sri Lanka, a few showers in the Maldives, but especially like western areas, like more than 200 millimeters, central to western India, especially like 400 millimeters on the European model, a few isolated spots there. So please stay safe, be careful. A few spots in Pakistan, especially northern and southern Pakistan. They're in the far south, some stronger storms, spots in northern Pakistan. So be careful with flooding there because there has been a lot of floods already this year in Pakistan. So please stay safe. Spots of central western India, you should be highly concerned with flooding, so please be careful. Southern Bangladesh, more than 100 millimeters, 180 spots in those same areas like Nepal, Bhutan, especially southern Bhutan, into northeastern India, even to like 400 millimeters in the European, to northern Myanmar as well, central northern Myanmar. Be careful with landslides, some mudslides, and flash flooding spots of southern Bangladesh right into Myanmar near the coast. So please be careful. This area of the Bay of Bengal, some very heavy rain. Spots in Thailand, still those occasional storms, but especially heavier near northern Laos into southern China and Vietnam. Especially spots southern China there, northern Vietnam with the tropical depression. Still a few spots in the Indian Ocean in southernmost Myanmar, so stay safe. And those storms in Cambodia, Vietnam, so be careful. It does show like those usual scared storms throughout Indonesia. in the tropics, especially like Malaysia, Indonesia, those afternoon storms. Spots of Sumatra, slightly less, especially western Sumatra. But those show southern areas into Java, still some, except the far south, like still dry across Timor, those areas. But these areas, southwest Indonesia, like Western Guinea, very heavy rain spots in the Western Pacific near southwest Indonesia. So be careful, and the Philippines as usual. So be careful, showers and storms, and stay safe. Does show the GFS there in India. Some storms, like especially central to western India. The GFS even showing like 300 meters on the west coast and 200 in Mumbai. So please stay safe. We will flood in those areas, especially because the major sea is in Mumbai and a few spots more central India. So stay safe from flooding. Please be careful in those areas. And yeah, be careful in the Western Pacific across Palau, spots in Micronesia and those islands too, with some heavy rain. So stay safe. Now let's see here. There's Tropical Depression 17 there near Hainan and Vietnam, and still bring a lot of heavy rain towards Vietnam and spots of Laos already. So please be careful. A few models take this up into China and northern Vietnam. So just be careful. Some heavy rain, gusty winds, those areas especially. Be careful with flooding. This tropical depression. There's Invest 90 in the Central Western Pacific, and models do strengthen this near Taiwan and China and the Philippines again. So if you're in those areas, just monitor this because models are trying to develop this near China and the Philippines. So be aware. And here's some other models. The Canadian model takes all the way into China. So be aware. And here there's the Canadian shoe. It does strengthen to a strong tropical storm or typhoon. So please be careful. And there's another system here, 92W. So some call it a tropical depression, right? And others don't. But it's there near the southern islands of Japan. The GFS takes it north towards southern Japan or South Korea, but still very weak. Just tropical depression strength or tropical storm strength. The Canadian takes it further west towards South Korea. So be aware, just monitor those areas. The European model does take us northwest, like near China and South Korea. It does strengthen it slightly more to like 991 or 1002 megahertz. So it does strengthen a little bit more. So be aware those areas. And here there's like Western Pacific. So the show right here, so good. There's that small tropical depression, the South China Sea. The GFS briefly strengthens it a little bit more before landfall in southern China, like 999 millibars. This goes the depression near Japan. It just fades it away into history. So, but it does bring some extra showers into Japan. But the next storm, by the 25th, it does develop it in the South China Sea. And then he goes into Vietnam. So this next storm is worth watching. The GFS does try to form some other storms after it as well. The European model shows like this goes, it tries to form the depression near Japan and South Korea, but struggles a lot. So just like that small blob of moisture south of Japan. So I don't really think that will become anything, but just worth watching if you are in Japan or South Korea. But the next system, the European array develops it into a typhoon by Saturday, the 23rd, goes towards Taiwan or the Philippines. So this next system is worth watching a lot. There's a lot of warm water and good conditions ahead of it. So please be aware and keep watching this. And there's the Canadian Model 2 shows like now there's the tropical depression in the South China Sea might strengthen a little bit more. So be careful, Vietnam, southern China. Here's the next invest coming near the Western Pacific. This coast, the Canadian does strengthen into a typhoon on the 23rd, just like the European, and it takes it a direct strike into the Philippines by the 24th, and another direct one into China later by the 28th. So this is just a scenario that this might not even happen, but just be aware those areas in the Philippines, Taiwan, and China, basically those three areas. It's worth watching this. So be aware. And here there's the 90W invest, this one that we just talked about. They might head towards the Philippines, a medium chance of formation. There's 92W. It looks more like subtropical than tropical, and the one that might go towards Japan. And there's tropical depression 17 there near China, Vietnam. It's still marked as an invest here. So be aware, there's the global hazards tropics outlook. They do mention on week 3 some 40% chance of tropical cyclones in the Western Pacific, and week 2 is next week. Still shows some probabilities there. So be aware. And here's more of the European ensembles. By 126 hours, it does show it near the Philippines or Taiwan, and by like 180 hours, it already has this system past the Philippines into the South China Sea. Some members are stronger, some are weaker. And then by the end, shows 240 hours. It takes it kind of towards Vietnam or China, most likely China, but we're watching this closely. And still some more random members might come after it. So please be aware in those areas because this is a lot of support for something to form there. So just keep watching this, but don't stress about it right now. And this is just the rain accumulation till September 1st. And you can see just how much rain is still coming. But the same thing, don't worry about that right now because this changes a lot. And like, let's take it one day after another. So be careful the next 5 days with these torrential downpours in India, spots Southeast Asia, and stay safe. In Japan, North Korea, China, still showing some fronts there, some heavy rain spots of China next 5 days into North Korea. So some 200 millimeters spots central northern China into northern Japan, also showing some heavy rain spots northern Japan. So stay safe. Shows in Mongolia, more rains, except on the west is kind of drier, but in eastern Mongolia it's more, slightly more. There's a portion of Russia kind of front free now, kind of dry, but still some fronts in western Russia, a few spots in the south, and especially in the Pacific, some more rain. So be aware. And the Middle East is mostly dry, except for the Caucasus, the mountains in northern Iran, and Yemen. So there's now a lot of storm spots of Yemen, southwestern Saudi Arabia, but especially in the Red Sea across Yemen does show a few spots to 100 meters on the coast of Yemen into Ethiopia and Eritrea. So please be careful, like the Arabian Sea as well. And now it's showing storms in Oman too. So be careful, southern Oman, a few spots in the Arabian Sea. So be aware there too. These ones can have some lightning and gusty winds, especially some flash flooding possible in Yemen. There's the GFS. It has on the west coast of Yemen to like 160 millimeters. The icon is crazy. That's all I can say. It shows like in Saudi Arabia to 200 millimeters, the coast of Yemen to 300, 400. So I think the icon is exaggerating, but you get the idea. There'll be some very heavy storms there and some rain in Oman as well, some heavier storm spots in Oman. So be careful in those areas because the weather just shifted from desert to downpour. So be careful, but this is because of the monsoon this time of year, the intertropical convergence zone. So stay safe. And then that does show a few storms, the Caucasus, that can be locally strong with hail and gusty winds in the afternoon. So be aware. And just from our context, does show in China, Mongolia, those areas like a few scared storms Tuesday, this goes, and a few scared storm spots of Japan as well. So don't let your guard down with those thunderstorms. Then shows a front in Mongolia Wednesday, slightly stronger front. This goes into China, possibly some heavy rain or even some severe weather spots of China into Mongolia Thursday. This front. Thus, the low pressure cyclone itself stays kind of in Mongolia, but the storms drift into China, North Korea, and Japan by Friday and Saturday. So stay safe these fronts and be careful still in Russia, those occasional stronger storms. So be careful. Besides from the storms, there's still the heat in the central Middle East, especially still like 48 degrees in Iran, spots of Iraq and Saudi Arabia. So be careful. Spots still very hot in Afghanistan, more than 42 degrees. Spots in Iran to 46, 45, and especially in the low elevations. And that shows some heat central China as well, spots in eastern China, northwestern India to 37. So be careful. It does cool down during the night in the mountains, of course. They are very high. But Monday still shows like in the afternoon there in Iraq, some like 45 to 47 degrees, even 48 degrees western Iran, southern Turkey. So still drink a lot of water and stay safe. Western Saudi Arabia, spots in Egypt, very hot. United Arab Emirates, so please be careful. Southern Pakistan, spots in Kazakhstan, close to 37 degrees. So stay safe. Tuesday shows like Wednesday still shows very hot, and this just continues throughout August. Spots in eastern China, even to like 38 degrees, a few spots. So stay safe. In India and Sri Lanka are quite hot spots. Southern India, 39 degrees on the European spots in Sri Lanka, 36. So stay safe. Show like Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, very hot still, and then the show like still by like Thursday 21st, some 46 degrees in Iran and Iraq, in Qatar still close to 40, Saudi Arabia. So stay safe Thursday. Friday it's not as intense heat as it was in July, but still very hot in Turkmenistan to 42 degrees. Still in Iran by Friday, Saturday, and the heat continues. By Sunday, does increase slightly again to some 47 degrees in Iraq, spots northern Iraq into southern Turkey as well, Syria. So stay safe that heat. Be careful wildfire, especially in Turkey that has more forests. So stay safe. And like spots southern Russia still very hot. So this generally continues. So stay safe in those areas. It's kind of colder in northern Russia, northeastern Russia, Siberia, especially northeastern Russia. So be aware, a few spots there. And central Russia is better, especially like a few spots do warm up more in the afternoon. But yeah, be aware, just checking for any snow in the Himalayas. The show still in the mountains a lot, like 5 days from Monday today until the 23rd. So the show across spots of the southern Himalayas, some more snow in Tibet. So especially be careful in the mountains. A thing or two in Tajikistan, western China, in the Tian Shan Mountains, and a few spots there further north in Mongolia into southern Russia and the mountains, and be aware spot or two in Siberia is also possible in some high elevations. So be aware. And just shifting our eyes to Europe does show some in Norway now, spots of northern Sweden, because we didn't show that yesterday. But yeah, so be aware. And terms of winds, those storms from the monsoon and everything can always have some gusty winds with those storms, but does show those areas in the Middle East, some strong gusts as usual, in Afghanistan and Iran, spots in Somalia, the Arabian Sea because of the monsoon, and spots in India too, so be aware. Monday, Tuesday, spots near the Western Ghats, spots near the west coast of India too, and northern China near Mongolia. So Tuesday show like that front in Mongolia and China slightly stronger Wednesday. Thursday does pick up that trough near Mongolia, some strong gusts, that cyclone. So be aware Thursday, Friday, and probably later by the 23rd in spots of Russia in the Pacific. So be aware. And those cyclones in the Western Pacific, the European is already like very intense, like 200 km per gust by the 23rd. But we'll still see what happens with that. But be aware those occasional gusty winds in those spots, Central Western Asia. And stay safe. Let's see if there's something else. And always be careful in the not Arabian, in the Persian Gulf in case of higher weather temperatures because of that heat that can cause some heat stroke. So please be careful and stay safe, especially the storms and everything.